Hi, mathematicians. Welcome to your multiplication table. This is a tool that I used when I was growing up, and maybe your parents probably recognize. And sometimes parents have these awful memories of learning their multiplication facts, and they maybe call it their times table. This is a multiplication table. This is the times table, and this has every multiplication fact from 0 times 0 to 10 times 10 and every number in between. So I'm just going to help you navigate this a little bit. If, for example, you wanted to find um, uh, 2 times 2, you would say there's 2 here, and this is 2 times 0, this is 2 times 1, and this is 2 times 2, right? There's the 2 here and the 2 there, and they meet is 2 times 2, and that's 4. So if we're looking at this table, I want you to notice a couple things that you probably already know. So if we look at the 0 row here, and the 0 column here, and the 0 row here, what do you notice about every number multiplied by 0? Yeah, it equals 0, right? So if I have 5,000 buckets and each of those buckets have 0 apples in them, how many apples do I have? I have 0. If I have 0 rows of 2 columns, how big is my array? 0. There's nothing in it, right? So this is true for 0 times 0, 0 times 1, all the way into 0 times a million. Right? 0 times a million would still be 0. Now let's look at the 1 column and the 1 row. What do you notice about that? What do you notice about that here? I'll highlight it here. Ooh. And I'll highlight it. Ooh, you can't highlight it there. What you might notice is that 1 times any number equals itself. So 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 10 is 10, 1 times 1,000 is 1,000. If I have one bucket with 1,000 apples in it, how many apples do I have? I have 1,000. And again, that's true for 1 times 1 or 1 times a million. It'll equal itself. So right off the bat, you have all of this. You know all of this because you know 0 times anything is going to be 0, and you know 1 times anything is going to be itself. Next thing we might notice is the 2's, right? So 2 times 2 is 4. That's the same thing as 2 plus 2. You know these doubles facts, right? 2 times, 2 times 7 is the same thing as 7 plus 7, and that equals 14. 2 times 10 is the same thing as 10 plus 10, and that equals 20. So those double facts that you learned when you were in primary unit are going to come in really handy right now. Okay, we're going to take some time to look at some of the other facts on this table.